So it's so much going on. So with all this chaos, and we could call it a solar system, how do we fix it?
Welcome to TF3 Airport. Is what? 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 They say what we famous for. That's why I'm taking y'all on this verbal tour. First stop, Providence Place Mall, 3 floors of stores to shop for you and yours. Don't have a ride, you can take the Ripper. Anywhere you need to go, the bus will get you. Cranston, Warwick, even Newport, Kennedy Plaza, where you can find the ice court. Y'all know Brown University, famous. J-Dub, PC, you alright? Famous. Students from everywhere come here to go there. The capital's Providence. Dante is in your ear. Home of the Blue Bug, Iggy's and Thayer Street. Full of stores to shop on, places you can eat. Near is downtown P-Pack. Enjoy a show. The Dunk Water Fires. Other things you need to know. Can't forget Fat Hill for real.
How do we fix it?
Yeah, because when you look about children and bringing them back into that, when I do work with children, I do work with children too, and usually parents are the one who brings the children in. So, so a lot of time, it's a lot of time with the parenting of the parents sometimes. So when I work with the kids on that, and if I need to bring the parents in the sessions, I do. Obviously, I make sure that the child is comfortable with. They can actually say to the parents what they need to say. And obviously, if the parents are rule, you cannot change the rule, but you want to make sure how they approach when they talk about those, when they implement those rules, how to implement them so the child don't feel like the self-esteem is down, no them calling, things like that, and how the parents try to implement those. So a lot of times this is what I do when it comes to kids, and depending on what exactly we're working on either, but you want to make sure if you come into counseling, bring your child to counseling, you want to make sure that the environment they're going back to is a safe environment. So depending on what they're working on. So a lot of time I work with the children and then bring parents in the sessions so the children can be empowered to say what they're thinking and feeling, so the parents can see their point of view, and before you know it, we're changing the environment for everyone. So,
right. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't address?
I think we probably touched on pretty much everything. I do a lot of trauma work as well, and grief and loss. I do that a lot too, and I don't think too many people want to touch on that sometimes, grief and loss, because it's something that's it's very real for people, but sometimes people don't comfortable to really work with grief and loss because of what it might mean for them. They might also get triggered into their own losses as well. In anything you work anyway, you gotta make sure you know yourself, what you're comfortable with. But I find a lot of time I'm very comfortable with doing grief and loss and trauma work. So those are my two major, also Christian counseling as well. Those are the 2-3 things that I really very comfortable doing and work all the time with people.
One of the things, when I wrote my book, that was the reason why I wrote the books. I wrote the books. It's called The Disconnect. I want to actually do an episode on it. Okay. The first one deals with you as an individual, why you made the decisions you made. The second one deals with the people you choose to be in your life, relationships and friendships. It's called the ghost and the machine. Okay. Basically, life is the machine, and the ghost is if me and you met each other, we just meeting each other for the first time. Mm-hmm. What is really behind me? Other than what I'm telling you, this is just a representation of me. Yeah. But what really is the true meaning of me? So I break that down and I address that death, and I told people how to deal with death, because a lot of times it's like if your hand, you're using your hand every day, and then you can't use it no more. Now you gotta adapt to go working without your hand. So what you gonna do? Just give up because the hand don't work no more? So you gotta find another way to.
That's a nice analogy. The one I use a lot with people for when it comes to losses and grieving, and I always tell people and I feel like it works a lot for people. I said we all is on a journey, and then we all connected with each other as we pass each other on that journey. And I use it like the analogy of a train ride. And so if you get on a train, there's different stops, people come and go and stuff like that. But along the way, as people are staying on the train with you, making memories, you connect with those people and you're building those memories and those things that's going to be meant for to you. And so when they get off the train, they say goodbye, and then that's it. You don't see them again. That doesn't mean you don't have those memories with those people.
Correct.
And other people come on the train, and then sometimes it might be your turn to also get off the train. So that's why I see life journey. We all connect to each other on the train, and at some point we all have to get off the stop. But what's really valuable to us is the memories we connect along the way. And that's what we need to remember by it. And so a lot of time when I work with people, I give them an analogy, and they connect with that analogy, and they be able to work with that and along the way as we do in the grief and losses, how they want to remember their loved ones. And to not, a lot of times what people do, they try to disconnect from it. They try to they don't want to think about it. They don't want to acknowledge it. It's almost like almost a denial. But I mean, there's 5 stages of losses they have to go through anyway. But a lot of people do go through different stages of that. But what I'm meaning by that is that it's not, they don't think it's okay maybe to go to the graveside, or it's okay maybe to write about that person, how they feel. Like there's a few things that they're trying to forget that the person died. They're trying to disconnect from the fact that they died. So instead of embracing the fact that the person did die, but celebrate the memories, what you have left of that person, so you don't feel like it's gone out of your life. So for example, if someone passed away, so it's okay to have a picture of that person and sometimes talk and say, you know what, I know that if I was, I'm making this food, I know so-and-so would have loved that food. It's okay to think that way because, it's always believed that if you believe in heaven, the person is in heaven. If the person went to heaven, is in heaven. So that means you're going to hopefully see that person one day if that's where you're choosing to go.
Right. So
that means just because the person is not with you doesn't mean that the person is not truly present in the memories and everything that you have with them. So if I'm having a cup of coffee, that's usually my usual with my so-and-so. I would have a cup of coffee at this time. So yeah, that's what I would have had at that time. So it's all okay to think about those things that happen and not deny. You remember those things because that's what keeps you going. When you take those memories away from you because you don't want to think about it, because you think they're going to hurt you from thinking about them, on the contrary, you're doing the worst for yourself.
Right.
You want to embrace that and not take it away from thinking about them. The more you embrace that, the more you're going to be like, that person never will leave me, he's still with me. And then you can move on that way.
Are you first for time, or you could keep going?
I got a person coming at 12, but 12 o'clock, another client coming at 12.
All right, because I don't want to hold you up.
I don't think they know he gets, so we can continue for.
Uh-huh.
I have someone coming at 12 for a session. Yeah.
Now, because
well, you have another question for me?
Listen, this is right here. You don't even know how much you're ministering to me right now on Good Friday. It's like my favorite scripture in the Bible is, "I set the times and places for you to be, so perhaps I seek you."
Yeah.
And I know this was supposed to happen because due to the circumstances, like a lot of people think we make it look so easy when we bring these cameras in here. It's like people don't know what goes on behind the scenes and stuff, like things going on with Keen or things going on with me, and I'm just like, we almost canceled this. And so the fact of the matter is, he's like, nah, I'm gonna press on, I'm gonna make it work. And me hearing this on Good Friday is so, it's like, wow, like this was amazing. I was like, you have a beautiful soul. I love it. I was just like, people, if you need some therapy, like one of the things about me, I tell people to go get therapy, and I say, I'll talk to you, because I think most therapists here's a question for you. I don't even want to speak on it. Do you think most therapists is just in it for the money?
Well, I always believe, I tell people, if you're going to do any job, you have to find something that have meaning for you. That has meaning for me. So I'm hoping every therapist is doing this because if they have meaning, it has meaning for them like he does. I mean, I just told you how I came to this field. So I believe everybody. Well, I can't say everyone, because sometimes because we get burnt out, you probably think that they don't really want to do their job. But that's why everyone has to take care of themselves. I have to take care of myself as a therapist. And everybody else, no matter what job you do, you have to take care of yourself. Because if you do not, even that was your passion, it's going to look like it's not your passion anymore, because you're going to push it like very robotic. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself along the way. And that's one of the big things I tell people in my therapy session. Like the same way I'm pushing you to take care of yourself, I take care of myself. Like I cannot come here and try to help you out if myself's struggling. So I make sure I take time for myself. Ooh. And they know it because they know when I'm taking care of myself. They tell me that too. So that's the reason why I said, should every therapist is there for the money? I would say no, because it's not an easy job to counsel people. I think everybody who's a therapist go in there for the right reason. But if you're not taking care of yourself, your client might think like you're in it for the money because you're not present. You always have to be present with your clients. I get back to back usually, and I guarantee you, everyone that's walking to my office, the back to back, I'm always present. I remember what we talked about last time. I'm there for them. We're laughing or joking, and they walk out, and this person comes in, same exact presentation. Because of the time, because it's not fair to them to come in and see me not where I need to be for them, because they're not here to support me. I'm here to support them. Right. So that's what I'm saying. I believe all therapists are there for the right reason, but if they're not taking care of themselves, it might look like they're not doing what they need to be doing.
Yes. I'm gonna use this again.
The bottle.
I love using this analogy. I'm gonna keep using this. I told people we are containers. You are a gallon because you pour in a lot of people's lives. As you keep pouring in people's life, that's your substance, your information. If you're not allowing substance to be poured back into you, you're draining yourself. And what happens if you drain yourself?
You got nothing to give. And that's why I tell parents all the time. I say, you gotta take care of yourself. You're gonna parent your children. So I make parents take time for themselves, away from children. Take dates. So I do couple, go on dates, romance each other. Like, it's okay to take 2 hours, 3 hours a week away from your children to just take care of yourself. Sometimes individual work, like if you're a parent, have your spouse to be with the kids while you go to the gym or do something with your girls, or if a boy with your boys or whatever. Because as an individual, we need to take care of ourselves because you want to be good for your spouse and also to be good to your children. So we all have to take care of ourselves.
Right. I'm not married and I'm looking to get married, and a lot of people don't understand why I'm not married. And what you just said is the reason. There's 3 trips that I was planning for my family. Trip number 1 is for me and the whole family. Trip number 2 is for me and my wife. Trip number 3 is for my wife by herself. And somebody was like, why would you do that? I need to know where she is. Because any woman that want to be away from her family for a long time, something's wrong. Because what do you know about a woman that loves her family? She can't be away from her family long. You can sit on a 7-day trip, she'd be like, I want to see my family after the first day, the second day. Well, I need my family, I need the cause, everything all right. So it's a temperature check. That's why when people want to understand why I'm taking so long, I want my kids to have both parents. I need that for them because I grew up a single kid. I know how that feels. I counsel single kids. I know how they feel. And but people don't take in time to think we was once them. Yeah. So if you know how you felt, why would you go along and bring that same pain to them? Good. Or worse? And also, I always feel you have to be ready to be married, because I'm doing a lot of counseling a lot of people right now who got married and they were not ready, because they'll bring a lot of stuff in the marriage. So, and my pastor said they prepare for the wedding, not the marriage. Yes, yes, correct. So, and I would say that to them, and then I'm like, it's always best if you're dating to be able to, you're dating for the right reason, and also you're checking yourself to see where you are, because the minute you get married to anybody, you willing to take them where they are, it's going to be hard to get past anything if stuff come into the marriage. So I think it's good to check ourselves. If you're not ready, you're not ready, and that's okay. Right. And nobody should pressure you to anything you're not ready for. But then again, if it happen that you do happen to be married, then that's the part where it's individual work for yourself or couple work for the couple. So, and that's why I do both. And I can see doing the couple counseling, who might need individual counseling, refer them out. Or if I'm doing individual counseling someone and then you have an issue in your marriage, okay, you need to probably do some couple counseling. So to be able to give that feedback to whichever one. So. Well, I'm glad I'm having this conversation because I'm going to ask you this question. I always counsel people that's married. They be like, why am I listening? Well, I was younger at the time when I was counseling. They were like, why am I listening to this little boy? He ain't even married. Now I'm older. They like, he knew what he's talking about. I always tell this to a married couple when I sit down to them. I say, you know why you got a divorce? They're like, why? Oh, want to get a divorce? The reason why you met. They're like, what are you talking about? What was your intentions of getting with that person? Was you trying to get with that person because of their looks? Was you trying to get with that person because of their money? Was you trying to get over somebody else and you was using that person, a rebound? What's the reason you got with that individual? Because it's playing itself out. That's why I keep trying to tell people, whatever that foundation started on, it's going to reveal itself later on. You can't hide it for long. You can only hide it for a short period of time. Yeah, it may look cute when you put on the tux and the gown. It could be cute when you're going through that honey. That's why they call it a honeymoon stage. The key word is honey. But when that first, I don't like this about a person comes out, and then my second thing I always tell a person is, there's going to be something about this person you're not going to like. If it get worse, can you deal with it? Yeah, and I tell people that you can't expect to marry someone, expect them to change after marrying them. Because if I'm marrying them, it will be okay. Because sometimes you see I call it the red flags before marriage. And I say to them, if you marry them like this, don't expect them to change after marriage, because you took them that way, expect them to be that way. I say individual change happens when someone look at it and say, you know what, I don't like the way I am right now, and I like the way it affected my family. I need to make some changes
on myself, which could not benefit my family. Then they make that decision. But don't marry them like the way you took them, expect them to change because you married them. That doesn't happen. And that's a false way of thinking about marriage. So I do that a lot of time with people, and then hopefully we can work around that, the way they believe about the marriage. So if they're already in it, so now we're going to work around that. So, but yeah, it's a very important that people check themselves before marriage. Like, what I'm going myself into, do I really want that? And what are we looking for? And the whole thing you said about why you're married, a lot of time people know, they see the red flags, but because they, at the time, you kind of like, they have rosy glasses on, and they're willing to bypass all this thing because those rosy glasses on, and then when they in it, and they're like, oh wow, this was real, and then at that point, you already married that person.
Right.
So I always tell people, don't walk into that. It's a big decision. Don't walk into that thinking that you need to have rosy glasses on and not see the red flags and ignore them thinking they're a little bit different. So if they're not married before they come to me, I say that to them. But if they're already married, then we work around that.
Right. So now to people that sit up there saying, wait a minute, hold up, time out. How did they go from mental health to marriage? So let me break this down for you. When a person meets another person, they want to be with each other for the rest of their natural life. We hope so. So when they meet that person, they saying, I love you, you love me, let's get married. Or I love you, you love me, let's lay down. We didn't talk about sex, but let's just say love in this point. So when a child comes out of that situation, that is called a family. Regardless if the two people are together or not, that still was a structure of a family. So if the child does not see their mother or father, what happens? They think they're the reason why the mother and father's not together. Who taught them that? Why? Because they are seeing other families or they're showing it on television. So in a child's mind, how they interpret something is going to be completely different than what two adults are projecting to that child. So when you argue in the home, you don't understand how that child is internalizing that. When you're not there, even though you're there, you don't know how that child is internalizing that. And you don't know what is being developed, what kind of anger, what kind of animosity, what did I do to come into the... And so when you got a child trying to figure things out, when it's not their job, they're just supposed to be a child playing around, laughing, and enjoy. This is what happened with the mentals and how mental health start developing.
Yeah. And I always tell a couple when I work with them, I said that, I say marriage is a foundation. So if you're going to build off that to have a family, you want to make sure your foundation is secure. And if it's not secure, don't expect your family to be okay. Because like you just mentioned earlier, like you have children, they're looking at that, they're looking at parents for that sense of what the family should look like. And also what marriage should look like. Exactly, what marriage should look like. Because if they ever want to think about that, they want to make sure they get a good sense of what the way mom and dad treat each other. So that when they want to get married with a boy or girl, they can really find someone who's going to reflect what they've seen growing up. But they don't have no sense of what that is. They're not going to know what it is to really be loved by anyone in that sense when it comes to marriage. And also the family was going to reflect that too, because then the children won't have no sense of belonging, like you said, or even a cohesion within the family, because there's so many fight, conflict, argument. That's nothing really, cohesively going on within the family. So it's good to always be, let's work on that foundation, which is your marriage between the parents. When they come couple counseling, I do that a lot. Let's work on your foundation so your children can be okay, your family can be okay,
right? And
you can be okay as a couple, because I'm sure that you don't that working in there to not want to be okay either. So that's how that feels into the mental health piece as well, because and only that too, if you're not okay as a couple, also your surrounding might not be okay. You know what I mean? Because then if you're miserable, that could affect the way you interact with the people around you. That could also cause you to have some kind of mental health too as well. So it's all like domino effect. It's not, we're not disconnected from this world. We're all connected to this world. So whatever happens is going to affect someone else too around you if you're not okay as well. Okay?
She covers so much. This is my favorite episode. I'm going to say that right now. But okay, so if you notice what she said, the foundational piece and the starting point should be love. You gotta learn how to love yourself before you can know how to love another person. I could easily tell you to love God, but if you don't believe in God, please learn how to love yourself.
Correct.
You gotta learn to love yourself. And then I'm just setting it up because my last question, or we continue on, but I'm just setting it up. Love first, then you'll know how to love others, and you'll treat people the way you actually want to be treated. Even though we know that's a cliche in the Bible, it's actually the truth, because if you know what you need to be loved, guess what you're going to do? You're going to find the right people to get around, and you're going to want to be loving to people.
Yeah.
Because no matter how bad I got treated, guess what? I'm still in loving to people. You know why? Because I don't want to change the narrative of who I am because other people didn't accept me the way I wanted to be accepted.
Correct.
So that goes to the question of this. If someone is not in this room directly talking to you, what are some of the steps that you could give them right now to help them work on themselves as they watch this video? Because that's what this is about.
Yeah.
And if you need extra help, extended help, she's available. She's gonna let you know. So
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that if you do certain things that you need to do, like at the beginning we talk about like taking care of yourself mentally, like anything that you think you need to do that's going to make you feel good about yourself, such as like whatever it is you're into, do it extra. If you like going for a walk, if you're into photography, if you're into the gym, swimming, walking, biking, whatever it is, and you have some, and then I would say choose your friends wisely, because they're going to help you maintain those habits that you're trying to do consistently. So make sure your support system is also healthy. Don't hang out with people who are not healthy, because in the minute they're trying to bring you down, you're not going to be able to maintain what you're trying to build for yourself. So if you notice you did all the stuff and you're still struggling, that's where you are. Obviously, if you are a believer, obviously you go to church, connect with other people that also go to church, can speak to you, find yourself. People elderly. If you're a man, hang out with other men's group, or women, find a women's group, whatever. So connect on a spiritual level as well to make sure you're taking care of you spiritually. But otherwise, if you feel you're doing all the stuff and you still cannot be at the pace where you need, that's where you come and say, you know what, it's really affecting my daily routine. That's how you know you have a problem. If we cannot function on a daily basis, I need to see an expert, someone like me. Then you look for that. If you do all this stuff and you still struggle in your daily routine, that's when you know you have a problem bigger than what you're trying to do. Then you need to come see someone.
wow, this was powerful. I don't know if y'all understand how powerful this was. Like, I got a lot from it, and I can't wait to actually review this again. This is really, when I say this is my favorite episode, because in the time of what we was talking, we covered so much that could actually be a life-changing moment, a life-changing event. If you really dissect everything that came out of this conversation, you can actually see a different results in your life less than a month from now if you actually apply it. Because that's one of the things I always tell people. Why are you going to get information and a person give you the information, but you don't take the information and you apply the information? It doesn't make, and that's what happens. We're doing this for you to take and apply it. It didn't cost you anything. All you had to do was turn it on. Press one. If I sent it to you, press in.
Listen.
That's it. That's all you had to do. Because there's so many people that sit up there saying, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. And I'm going to say, okay, did you reach out and touch someone? Did you reach out? That might be my last question. Why is people afraid to reach out and talk?
You know why? It's the biggest thing. People come in. It's because they are worried and concerned about the work that they have to do. It can be painful work. A lot of times, usually, when I do trauma work, people have to go through what happened to them. It's painful. If it's painful, people sometimes want to avoid pain. The same way people don't like having physical pain, the same way people don't like to have mental pain either. So to go through anything that's painful, people don't want to do that. They want to avoid it. So when they finally have enough, we talk about that bottle container or the pot on the stove, when they finally realize it's like it's really, really, they have enough, they mess, they cannot function, then they have the courage then to reach out and say, you know what, I'm going to take a leap of faith and hoping that whatever pain I'm going to have is going to be worth it at the end. And so when they come to me thinking that way, I try to encourage them, at the beginning it's not going to be easy, but I guarantee you the end result is going to be positive. So you just have a little bit of faith and take it a day at a time.
Again, it's not going to be easy, but the end results.
It's going to be positive. So that's it.
Tell the people who you are. Tell them what you do.
All right. So again, my name is Dr. Cynthia Almonacy. I'm a mental health counselor. I have a doctoral degree in counseling psychology. I have a Facebook called Dr. Almonacy Counseling on Facebook. You can find me that way, and you have all my information how to contact me if you need therapy. I can be available. You can contact me. You can email off that
It's
site.
gonna be
anything.
down
So
on YouTube.
Call me as well. So I'm hoping that help a lot of people when we talk about today, because I believe people need to be whole and not walking around with like 90% of their body not 100% whole. So I'm hoping that change your life. That's also helpful to you to be able to want to do something different for yourself and live yourself in a positive way. So thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you for having us. Oh
Right.
my, yo.
All right. Thank you.
That's why I said I need motivation.